Hey guys, welcome back. I hope everyone's doing well today. I'm sitting outside. I'm just gonna do a meditation out here. It's kind of humid actually. I came out here and I was like, dang, it's hot. So I'm sitting under this little like tent gazebo. It's got wind coming through, so that's decent. But anyway, I just wanted to pop on here because something that has just been coming to my mind the past few days. For some reason, like just me thinking of like nonprofit organizations, right? Like businesses that are tax exempt that don't have to pay taxes, like a church, like a lot of churches, I think maybe all of them, they're nonprofit. Some hospitals that are religious based, they're nonprofit. There could be smaller businesses, like where I went to my grief counseling. That was a nonprofit female charity, you know? So those people don't pay taxes, okay? And it just made me think, like, I remember it was probably like, I don't know, 6 years ago, 5 years ago, I had looked up a hospital, just out of curiosity, that because they were nonprofit, and I just looked up to see what donations they had, what money they were putting out, right? I just looked at the ins and outs of the public reporting, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's what kept coming to me these past few days. It's really interesting how those places that, obviously, if it's a hospital, it's going to have a lot of money, right? Because of the services they provide. But if you just consider that those people don't even pay taxes, right? Some of these huge churches and just stuff like that, right? That just seems really unjust for the normal person that is trying to provide for a family, right? Just people out there living their life, working. They're paying taxes, but yet some of these large hospitals, businesses, corporations, right? Who knows what? They're not paying taxes at all, right? So if you just think about it, not everyone in the world is a just, fair, and honest person. So it just would make sense, right, that there should be some kind of a deep dive into looking into those locations or places that do not pay taxes, because that would just seem like a loophole, don't you think? I don't know why that just kept coming to me. And it's so weird. That's how stuff works. Like, I remember, like, 5 years ago, I said I even went to a certain company website and looked up their public reporting, just to see, like, because it was a nonprofit, and I was like, well, how much money are they operating with if they don't pay taxes on and all this, just out of curiosity, because I was doing my deep research on taxes and just health and life and everything back then, right? And it was so interesting to find the information just when you let it set in, right? The other day, this stuff kept coming to me, and I thought, okay, well, there must be something to that I keep just feeling an unjust, scale, as opposed to the people down here paying to these huge places that are not paying. I don't know. Maybe something to look into, right? That might be an interesting investigation if the government looks into that, but, and then I was also just like, feeling relief, I know I always talk about it, but like, if you just spend a little bit of time each day by yourself, right, any time of the day, but just de-stressing, you know, letting your mind breathe, relax, purge things that you really can't do anything about, there's no need for you to be stressed about situations or things that you can't actually do anything about. They're not even in your control or related to you, right? So why let that bother you? I was just thinking about that the other day, because I try to do a meditation once a day, maybe more than that, depending on how I feel. But I mean, it was just so interesting when I was thinking, like, what would I be if I didn't do this? I just feel like I'd be weighted down, which I think back to my life before I ever meditated, and I'm like, yeah, I was weighted down. So maybe just stressing the importance of just taking stuff in, right? Just sitting outside, listening, I love listening to water. That's really relaxing to me. But just, going with the flow, sitting in the sun, just letting your brain relax. What thoughts do you have? What's bogging you down? You know, that's really key, because life loves to get you distracted and look over here and look over there, you know, and not to really look at the problems or things that you have going on. If you're worried about everything and you're stressed out about everything that's going on, swirling around, then you'll never be able to focus on what really matters and what really is important, you know? So, who knows? I love you guys. I hope you have a good day.